Resident Evil is known for the iconic STARS Alpha team, featuring characters such as Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, and Barry Burton. But what about Bravo Team? The original team deployed to investigate the Arklay Mountains that prompted the events of the original game. Today, in this video, we will look at the underrated members of STARS from the franchise, Bravo Team. Enrio Marini was the leader of Bravo Team and the vice captain of STARS. He was born in 1957, making him 41 years old when the Spencer Mansion incident occurred. During his early years, Marini served in the United States Army, and he was commended for his leadership tactics and great accomplishments in field missions. After departing the military, he joined a police department SWAT team. There, he would meet Alpha team member Barry Burton, and he would become his law enforcement mentor. In 1996, Raccoon City launched the Bright Raccoons 21st Century Plan, which was intended to jumpstart and rejuvenate Raccoon City's economy. Part of the plan was the creation of STARS, an elite police force within the RPD, which would tackle anti-terrorism and urban crime scenarios. Marini was scouted and picked to join STARS for his commendable survival skills and impervious mental strength. He was well respected by his subordinates, making him a popular choice to be the department's captain. However, the position went to Albert Wesker due to the influence and power of Umbrella USA being the main funders of the initiative. Enrico still became vice captain of the entire STARS unit, but was right below Wesker on the seniority list. On July 23, 1998, the RPD deployed the STARS Bravo team, with Enrico leading the team to investigate cannibalistic murders happening in the Arklay Mountains. On their way, they suddenly suffer engine trouble, with their chopper forcing them to land somewhere in the forest. He and the team decide to secure the area, and they come across a vehicle wreckage with 2 dead military police occupants. They find documentation on Billy Cohen, a prisoner being transported for execution over war crimes he committed. With this information, Enrico decides for Bravo Team to prioritize hunting down Billy Cohen before continuing their mission. He orders everyone to separate and survey the area. During this, they are attacked by zombies and mutant dogs that have escaped the Spencer Mansion. Most of the team escapes and heads to the Spencer Mansion. During his search, he discovers Nest, a secret testing lab owned by Umbrella. Here, he finds Bravo Team's medic, Rebecca Chambers, who split from the group earlier. He then tells her that they should head to the mansion, but she refuses because she wants to try to find Billy after they got separated. Against his judgment, he decides to allow her to remain in the facility to look for Billy while he heads to the mansion. Sadly, this would be the last time Rebecca would see Enrico alive. At the Spencer Mansion, Enrico starts to uncover evidence against the Umbrella Corporation. It turns out that the murders in the mountains were caused by bioweapons that escaped the secret lab beneath the Spencer Mansion. He also finds evidence of a traitor in the STARS unit that was also employed by Umbrella. It's not known if he ever finds out who this individual is. Later, he is injured while exploring the underground caverns beneath the courtyard, where he is discovered by either Jill or Chris, depending on whose campaign you play. He's promptly shot by Albert Wesker before he can name the traitor, but his last words includes Umbrella.
Are you with anybody, Jill?
Barry. You alright?
Hey, buddy. Someone is a traitor. The STARS are finished. Umbrella set us up. Damn it!
Enrico!
One of Enrico's hobbies is golfing. He is played by Sammy Ozero in the live-action film Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, where he is still part of Bravo Team, although he is killed this time by a zombie and not by Wesker. He is a playable character in the DS port of Resident Evil. Resident Evil Deadly Silence allows you to play as him after completing 3 levels in the co-op mode. Edward Dewey was born on 1972, making him 26 years old during the Spencer Mansion incident. He was the team's rear security, but also the main pilot of Bravo Team. He also served as the team's mechanic alongside Forrest. Even though he had a strict and intimidating demeanor, Edward tended to look after the team's younger members, such as Rebecca, who was also part of the rear security. When the team split up, Edward decided to investigate the forest. There, he encountered a pack of Cerberus dogs infected with the T-virus that escaped the Arklay labs. He tried to fence them off with his samurai edge, but unfortunately, he was mortally wounded by one of them. He manages to escape and jumps through a window of a nearby train, the Ecliptic Express. There, he meets Rebecca and warns her that there are monsters in the forest before passing out. These are his final words to Rebecca.
Edward! Are you alright? What happened?
It's worse than... We can't. You must be careful, Rebecca. The forest is full of zombies and monsters.
Zombies and monsters.
Sometime later, he wakes up as a zombie caused by the T-virus infection. Rebecca encounters him somewhere later on the train and she is sadly forced to kill him. In the original Resident Evil, it's stated that his hand was the one Joseph Ross picks up. In the 2002 remake, he finds the remains of RPD pilot and officer Kevin Dooley. In the concept art, he is holding a sniper rifle, which would imply that he is also a marksman. However, I can't find any evidence to support this. One of his hobbies is dancing, surprisingly. Forrest Brier was born in 1969, making him 29 years old during the Spencer incident. He served as the weapons and helicopter maintenance specialist. He served in the United States Army prior to joining STARS. He was considered to be full of life by the team and a perfectionist of his work. He specialized in marksmanship and shared a close friendship with Alpha team member Chris Redfield. Together, they would have shooting contests. He was also close to Alpha member Joseph Ross. Together with Redfield, they would go and drunkenly cause minor disturbances around the suburbs of Raccoon City, much to the annoyance of RPD Chief Irons. When the team split in the Arkley Mountains, some of the members, including Forrest, found the Spencer Mansion. There, they decided to split up and investigate the area and report back to what they found. Forrest decided to monitor the east side where he would meet his demise. He died from being pecked to death by crows infected with the T-virus. Depending on whose campaign you play, he is found by Alpha team member Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine, who are saddened by his death. A little later, he returns as a zombie and is put to rest by either of them.
It's Forrest.
What could have done this to him?
God only knows, but I'm gonna find out what did this to him.
Due to time limitations of the game's development, his role was limited to being found dead in the game rather than being alive and being a more fleshed out character. Series writer Kenichi Iwao decided that he'd be killed by being pecked to death by crows because he's a fan of Alfred Hitchcock films and his death was a reference to his film The Birds. Beating Resident Evil 2002 on hard mode unlocks one dangerous zombie. In this mode, every zombie is replaced by a zombified Forrest who has explosives on him and will chase the player around. Shooting him will cause the mansion to explode and will kill the player. Kenneth J. Sullivan was born in 1953, making him 45 years old during the Spencer incident. He was the oldest member of the STARS unit and was selected to be part of the team due to his PhD in chemistry. Despite being reserved and bearing a serious look, at most times Kenneth had a gentle personality to his team members. His precise investigation skills would rival Bravo team captain Enrio Marini. He was also the only member to have a video recording device. When the team got separated, Kenneth and some Bravo members found themselves in the Spencer mansion. Kenneth decided to investigate the west area while the others went to different parts of the mansion. Kenneth would survive until the night when the Alpha team of STARS would arrive to the mansion. Upon arrival, they heard gunshots in the dining room. Kenneth had fired a couple shots at a zombie and he managed to escape into a linking hallway. He kept firing at it, but the zombie wouldn't go down. Sadly, the zombie tore through his throat and he passed away from his wound. Kenneth's hobby was landscaping and he enjoyed dog training. In Resident Evil 2002, Kenneth gets his throat torn by a zombie. However, in the original Resident Evil, he gets decapitated by the zombie. Richard Aken was born in 1975, making him 23 years old during the Spencer Mansion incident. He is the second youngest member in Bravo team behind Rebecca Chambers, who is only 18 years old. Richard has a strong desire to protect others. This desire was created from a traumatic experience where he watched his little sister get killed by an armed criminal. He was paralyzed with fear that he couldn't save her. Suffering from survivor's guilt, he believed that he should have died in her place. He regretted not being able to save her. This caused Richard to always be protective of his team members, even if it would cost him his life. He became the Bravo team's communication expert because he could read people's emotions well. He is cool-headed and calm during pressure despite his young age. Originally entrusted with mentoring and looking after Rebecca, they split and he ended up at the Spencer Mansion like the other members. While investigating the nearby dormitory, Richard finds Rebecca, Bravo Team's rookie, in one of the rooms. The pair decide to try and locate Enrico in hopes to make a plan of escape or summon help. The two survivors make their way through the mansion, killing some infected in an attempt to locate Enrico. After a while, the two are suddenly attacked by a giant snake yawn. Richard pushes Rebecca away when the snake tries to attack her. He's severely wounded and is poisoned by the snake. Rebecca manages to get him to the mansion's east wing. She only appears during Chris's campaign. If you play as Jill, Richard manages to escape by himself. In both campaigns, he needs serum to survive. After he is cured, he gives up his short radio, and they use this to contact STAR's Alpha Team's pilot, Brad Vickers. After Richard is cured, he is tragically killed by either the infected shark Neptune saving Chris or by the snake Yawn saving Jill. After he passes away, Bridget, his girlfriend, reads a letter out loud at the joint funeral of the STARS member who passed away. Dear Bridget, I understand your concerns about me taking up this dangerous line of work. As a member of STARS, I will always be in the line of fire. I figured this was as good a time as any to try and explain my actions. Bridget, I know I've talked about her before, but the memory of my little sister eats at me from the inside. I couldn't save her from that criminal. I know you try to console me, telling me that there was nothing I could do being so young, but I was so paralyzed by fear and doubt that I couldn't do anything. My baby sister was killed right in front of my very eyes and I couldn't move an inch. I couldn't protect her. I was so helpless. It feels like I should have died in her place and I just can't shake that feeling. All I can do is try to bury that feeling and protect the people that need it most, so they don't have to go through what I did. I'm not giving up this job and I will continue to protect who I can. STARS is the only way I can live with myself. I don't want to die in vain. I never want to hesitate when that moment comes again. Don't worry, I'm not that little kid anymore, and I'll come back alive. I promise. You're the most important thing in my life, and I always want to be there for you when you need me. Love, Richard. Chad Rook plays Richard in the live-action movie Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. This is the first time we see him in a live action. Here, he is killed by zombies while protecting Chris. Also, he is part of Alpha Team instead of Bravo Team. He is the only STARS member that's been confirmed to be in a relationship with someone. Barry Burden is the other member who is married. Side note, Richard is my favorite STARS Bravo Team member. I already made a video covering Rebecca's journey in the franchise. The following events are summarized. If you want more detail, be sure to check out that video. Rebecca Chambers was born in 1980, making her 18 years old when she joined STARS. Growing up, she was considered a child prodigy as she would enter university at a young age and graduate with a bachelor's degree in chemistry at the age of 18. These academic accomplishments caused attention to get scouted by various groups. She decided to join STARS as the team's medic and rear security alongside Edward Dewey. Together, they developed a close friendship. When the team splits up in the forest, Rebecca finds herself on the Ecliptic Express. There, she meets Billy Cohen and the two decide their best bet is to work together so they can increase their chances of survival. The pair eventually reach a training facility where BOWs were tested by Umbrella. The dangerous creature that's there is defeated by Rebecca and Billy using the power of sunlight.
Hey, Queenie! Feast on this!
After the pair escape, Rebecca and Cohen split. After the events of Resident Evil 0, Rebecca makes her way to the Spencer Mansion to regroup with the rest of Bravo Team. Rebecca only appears in Resident Evil during Chris's campaign. After her ordeal, she falls asleep in the dormitory and is found by Richard Aken. There, the two decide to look around the mansion and try to find Captain Enrico. During this, they are attacked by the snake Yawn. Richard pushes Rebecca out of the way, causing him to get bit and poisoned. If you manage to get the serum in time to her, she can cure Richard. Sadly, he still perishes to a BOW later, and she is saddened when she finds out about his death. When Wesker is confronted, he shoots her in front of Chris. However, she survives. Her and the other Alpha Team members get to the heliport where they battle the tyrant BOW created by Umbrella to be the ultimate life form. They manage to defeat it using a rocket launcher and escape before the entire mansion explodes. Rebecca would be the only STARS Bravo team member to make it out alive. If you want to know more about what happens to Rebecca after the mansion incident, check out my video. who is Rebecca Chambers, Resident Evil explained. Due to her Easter egg in Resident Evil 2, it's implied that one of her hobbies is basketball. When Resident Evil 0 released in 2002 on the GameCube, Rebecca's face model was Ayumi Hamasaki, a Japanese pop star, though her face model was different when the HD remaster released.